Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Geminis in early June? It is Gemini season, my good friends. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini in early June. What's the vibe? What's the energy? And while we get this card out, I just want to once again wish you all a very happy birthday. From me to you, pardon me. Whether your birthday's already passed, whether it's still coming up, I really hope you have a great one, my friends. I genuinely mean it. All right, cool. So you have a very inward-facing card starting us off here, which could be very good. It's very nice, spiritual, introspective. But yeah, it is definitely inward facing, which could mean a whole bunch of different things, right? Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this individual here blindfolded, hoodwinked, with all these different spiritual emblems, all these different spiritual practices, and it seems like this person is searching through them, right? So first and foremost, it's very spiritually inclined. So whether you're going inward about certain things, maybe you're diving down different rabbit holes, learning about different spiritual practices and topics, that could always be a great thing when this card is here. It also does have that underlying energy of I'm searching for something. Sometimes we feel like we're searching, we don't quite know what we're searching for, and that's kind of what this person's doing. So I love it. It's a big card of spiritual protection, and it is inward facing once again. So you might be in the mind a little more so than usual when this card is here. Now, the fact that there is a blindfold, that is one of those symbols that can represent secrecy, the hidden. Notice this person's not looking at the outer world. It's all inside. So we want to see within the reading itself, are there going to be certain things that are kind of out of the blue? Are there secretive things, unknown things? There is that hidden layer that this card can represent. But aside from that, it's very good. I think it's nice. So we're just going to put it down right there. And let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Geminis in their birthday season. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was a little dicey last week. The reading was titled Beware of This Person. And the reason there was such a warning, an external warning, is because to me it felt like there was someone where their like words and actions weren't lining up. So that's something to really watch out for even over the coming days and weeks, like where someone will say one thing and then do another. It was something odd like that. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. 3 cards for Gemini in early June. Thank you. Cool. 2 of Swords. Okay. What do these cards have in common? Right. Notice the hoodwink, the blindfold. So that little bit of mystery is here. And we're going to have to see what kind, because mystery isn't necessarily a bad thing. There's just a lot of question, unknowns, layers, so to speak. Let's get a couple more. I don't know why that made me chuckle when that card popped out. Okay, 4 of Swords. Very quiet. A lot of nighttime energy here as well. Hopefully you're sleeping well. I mean, hopefully someone's not losing a little bit of sleep. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. What do we have for Gemini? Thank you. Okay, don't get nervous about this card here on the back end. Okay, we got the Death card, which is more about change and transformation. I always say it. It's like one of those cards where people get scared about it. Nothing to really worry about. Now, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and tells us how the energy flows. And I am not surprised that all of these elements are inward facing as well. We have a mixture of air and water showing up. Now, luckily, air is your power element. It's your comfort zone, which takes up the majority of the reading. And the air element to me It's very logical. It's very pragmatic. It could speak about the mindset, the mind state. It's big when it comes to giving and receiving information. That's another thing that air does well. That's why it ties into communication. Now, it's great, it's smart, it's intellectual, it's mentally stimulating, but the downside to air is that sometimes it can be prone to overthink, anxiety, nerves, stuff like that. Air can also be a little cold and detached. So that's something to watch out for. And then we have the water right here, which is a totally different vibe. Water is also internal, matters of the heart. So you see what I'm saying. We have the heart and mind, heart and mind. What my mind tells me, what my heart tells me. There might be a little conflicts there for some Geminis in this time. But when I see the water, I think of any emotional matter of the heart, anything, person, situation that we're most emotionally invested in or that we care about. The good thing about water, yes, it does focus on partnerships, but it's also very creative. It thinks outside the box. It's imaginative. So any sort of creative pursuit highly favored when we have water. The only downside is that it could be overwhelming. It could be very emotional. It could be up and down. So that's something we want to watch out for. But all of this is internal, inward facing energy. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Two of Swords. And we see this individual, they are on the beach. It is nighttime. There's a moon in the sky. The person is blindfolded. Now, all twos in tarot can represent partnerships, decisions, choices, being at a crossroads of some kind, make or break time, right? The Two of Swords, classically, is a card that can represent confusion, indecision, feeling like you're between a rock and a hard place. Now, I'm not saying that you definitely are. I'm just giving you the classical meanings of the card. It can be one of those energies that is up in its head quite a bit. But I always focus on the moon, the nighttime, and the blindfold, the mystery, because this is right up there with the moon card itself to me. Where could it be something that's unexpected? Sure. Could it be something that's surprising? Absolutely. Could it be something that's even secretive? Potentially. We just have to see what shows up. Now, the good thing about this card is that sometimes it can offer clarity. So, if there are certain things that you're looking for, information, you're trying to connect the dots and figure things out, the Two of Swords, although it's not the most comfortable energy, it does eventually give way to clarity, which is something I really like. So, moving to the center, and we'll circle back just to see, is it like just mystery or is it something a little more? Is it a problem? But we have the Four of Swords, and we see this person, they're laying there, looks like they're meditating or praying or something like that. The good thing about this, it is great for any sort of spiritual practice, spiritual endeavor. So you see what I mean? Between these first two cards, very similar to that first oracle card we had. So this is a repeating theme. What's this person doing though? They're taking a break, they're taking a rest. So if we put all the prayer, manifestation, meditation to the side, this person is recharging their batteries. So it's not necessarily an ending, but it's a slow period, it's a break, it's a pause. So there could be various things in this time that might be moving slow or that you should be taking slow. That could be a big thing. This card does also connect to sleep. So if you've been having issues sleeping, maybe you're having some funky dreams when this card shows up, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's paused. And that's where we get to the issue with it, because sometimes the Four of Swords can represent feeling stuck or feeling like I'm not going anywhere, feeling like I'm hanging in limbo. So we do want to look into this much further because, yeah, could it be a situation or a problem that needs your attention? Sure. But at the same time, it could also be very chill and relaxed. So we'll see. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Death card. And I always say this is always one of the misconstrued cards. Now, of course, can it represent some harsh things? Yeah, it can. All cards can. But this one does have scary image. Now, for some of you, if you have Scorpio placements, boom, right here. If you're connected to Scorpio, boom, right here. It is a big Scorpio card. But death to me, although sometimes it can represent the endings, sometimes it can represent the close of a very specific cycle. To me, it's more so a shift, a change, a progression, close of one chapter, opening of another. So I always think of a phoenix rising from the ashes, someone or something remaking itself or stepping into the next stage, which isn't necessarily scary. Death is all about cycles. Death can also, yeah, could there be a pause of some kind? Potentially. We just have to see how it feels to us. But it is a big karmic shift of energy. That's another thing. It's a very karmic card. It's an unavoidable type of energy. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Gemini. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right. Let's get a good shuffle here for my Gemini friends. What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot because, as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Two of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Two of Swords here? What is this unknown? What is this mystery that we're looking at? Thank you. Okay. Lovers in reverse. Someone might be acting a little different. Okay. So the Lovers adds extra depth to this because that is one of your power cards, right? This is one of the cards that does represent Gemini. And with it in reverse, obviously with the two and now this, it can represent like a funky situation or funky dynamic between you and someone that you normally get along with well. So watch out for that. But to me, intuitively, it could be someone acting different or like, I can't quite place it. Something feels different. Someone's acting different. They don't normally do that. They don't normally say that. You know, sometimes where you feel something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. That's how this feels to me intuitively, which again doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. One thing to mention, it also does have an archangel, the Archangel Raphael, which is the Archangel of Healing. So we do have this strong spiritual undertone from front to back. But with this being one of your power cards, there could be various situations popping up out of the blue that catch you off guard, right? Like when I see the Two of Swords, the unknown, blindfolded, with your card in reverse, it's like this is something that completely caught me off guard. I was not expecting this situation. So it could be an unexpected situation or a surprising one. Yes. Could it be a problem that pops up that you weren't expecting? Sure. So those are like the main things I'm picking up here in the front, and I want to see how it all plays out. So my main two things here, either someone might be acting a little different or you feel something in the energy and you can't quite put your finger on it, or this could be a surprising or unexpected problem or situation. Let's keep moving. We're not going to dwell on it. Is what it is. Let's go in on the Four of Swords. So why is the Four of Swords here, please? I really want to get over to the Death card as well. So why is that Four of Swords here? So a low pressure approach is the best approach with the King of Swords in reverse underneath it. I'm not sure what's going on for every single one of you, right? There's a lot of Geminis going through a lot of different things out there, but this is another one of your power cards, the King of Swords. Remember, he's not gender specific, so it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Kings usually represent control of their respective suit. So remember what we were saying about all the air. The King of Swords is about the mindset, the information, strategy, planning, very smart, needs to understand things, needs to know why things are happening the way they are. So when I see him in reverse underneath the Four Swords, either one, this is somebody that needs a bit of a mental vacation, where it's like, I have a lot on my mind, a lot on my plate. I just need to let that be for a minute. Or the best path forward with a certain situation is the path of least resistance. And listen, I get it. Sometimes, like, I'm not saying that you always take that route. Sometimes we do want to take the tough road. But the Four of Swords with the King of Swords in reverse underneath it is like very low pressure. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to push anything. If someone's not wanting to open up or if a problem's brought to me, cool. It's not too emotionally reactive. It's not flying off a handle. So there is something here about taking a neutral, low pressure path regarding something. Now, I am also a believer with some situations, it's good to get proactive. I have a lot of Aries placements in my chart, so I'm all about the action. But sometimes the best action is no action, and sometimes the best action is the one that's going to cause the least bit of waves. And that's how this feels to me in the center. So again, watch for the overthinking too. That's like another thing, the stress, anxious, nervous, because like this whole combination up front could absolutely be a little bit wound tight. So watch for the overthinking. But yeah, the main thing to me here, aside from the problem we're picking up in the front, is the path of least resistance, or let something breathe a little bit, where it's like, don't pressure it, don't force it, let it breathe a minute and see how it flows from there. So we're going to keep moving and see what the Death card has. But yeah, sometimes that is the way, right? Best action, no action for the time being. So let's go in on Death and see what that has. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is Death here for Gemini, please? Thank you. Okay. I don't dislike how this energy shifts. I don't. So we have the Empress in the upright. That's either Taurus or Libra energy right there. I love the Empress because to me she represents blessings, abundance, fertility, stability. She's a beautiful energy. Usually it's like cup runneth over, blessings and abundance type of energy. So this could be telling us like the next chapter is actually a very fruitful one for some of you. You could be on the precipice of a very powerful change when I see this combination. Now, life is about perpetual change, right? Things are always changing, moving, shaking, but this one feels pretty major or massive. So, in this time, especially tied into what we have here, could somebody be going through a very powerful metamorphosis and it has them in a shaky place? That's very possible, even if it's not you. But to me, it feels like it's changing for the better or it's changing for the best. And sometimes I don't want this to sound like a cop out, but sometimes we just have to trust that, if that makes sense. Sometimes we have to trust that things are taking the process they need to take. Things are unfolding how they need to unfold to reach the best possible outcome. I hope that makes sense because that's how this feels to me. But yeah, I would say mostly back here on the end, death with the Empress in the upright is a brand new paradigm and it is a massive shift or change because from here to there is night and day. So hopefully for a lot of you, this is a change for the better, right? Because remember, she's blessings and abundance and she came out in the upright. So that's great. She could also represent motherhood, mother figures, and stuff like that. But I'd say overall, I like what it leads to, but the overall energy does feel a little bit uncomfortable to me. So watch out for feelings like I'm on shaky ground, right? Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. I feel neutral about most of it, to be honest with you. But if you kindly look in the box, we love the back end. Position number one, we start with the Two of Swords, Lovers in reverse. So again, some of you might just be feeling like something's off or someone's acting a little different, can't quite put my finger on it type of energy. But for another portion of you, could this be a surprise or unexpected problem or situation popping up? Absolutely. Where it's like, okay, where'd this come from? Moving to the middle, we have the Four of Swords with the King of Swords in reverse underneath it. Sometimes the best action is no action or very low pressure. So it's important right now not to force or pressure things too much and to let them marinate and see how it unfolds. So that's how that feels. Just let something take its course. Then on the back end, we have the Devil with the Empress in the upright, the massive change of some kind, but I do feel like it's changing for the better. So I think it's important to try your best to stay as optimistic as possible, regardless of what you're going through, and hopefully have that trust that things will eventually wind up how they need to. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, Gemini. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get your one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get it going here. What is in the shadows for the beautiful Geminis? All right, yeah, 10 of Wands. So there is a little tie-in to what we have here in the center of the spread. Now, the 10 of Wands in its good aspect represents determination, forward momentum, forward push. But when we get to the shadow side, sometimes this energy could feel exhausted. So there might be certain things, people, situations that are just draining where it's like, oh, this is so tiring. Can we not? It's like one of those. So again, the low pressure, because this energy in the center, remember I said needs a mental vacation, needs to take a load off, needs to recharge. The 10 of Wands is a burdensome type of energy. It's heavy and it takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of energetic juice from you. So I think it's really important in this time to pace yourself. The pacing of something or a situation is very important because this energy's thick, it's heavy. So just watch out for that. Again, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, the 10 of Wands is just a heavy energy. So there's just something here about pacing yourself and not putting too much on your shoulders in this time. Right? Sometimes that card could even represent feelings of guilt for whatever reason. But we're just going to put it down right there, Gemini. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, the winners, which will be three, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, Which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.